Welcome back to Match Day live here on Villa TV for our post-match show on the back of a 1-1 draw, Aston Villa against Leeds, with Tammy Abraham scoring the 88th minute to rescue that point for Aston Villa. It does mean that Villa are still 6 points clear of Chelsea in fourth as a result of Chelsea's draw to Burnley earlier on. So, Of course, you know, we're coming back now. We're not going to, you know, kind of patronise our viewers by any means by saying, oh, it's a point gain sort of thing, because, of course, Leeds are difficult, as we know, but this is Fortress Villa Park. But what were your main takeaways from that?
I think today, I mean, they scored an unbelievable goal. We spoke before the game, Kate, about perhaps teams that we're expected to beat. Sometimes we have a bit of a difficulty with that. We're better against the top clubs.
Yeah.
You know,
Arsenal and Man City that come here and
because they might have a bit more of the ball,
Yeah.
and we sort of sit and wait a little bit and then try and when you concede to a team like Leeds, I mean, it was an unbelievable strike. Wow, what a goal he hit. I mean, Emmy's offering him that in the top corner, Chesney, isn't he? He's almost saying, go on, I dare you. And the fella's gone bang and knocked it straight in there. But when you got one behind, it's difficult. And playing the way that we do, I like I admire the lads the last 20 minutes because they never give it up, they keep going. A bit more spontaneous, a bit more throwing it in there, a bit more trying to make something happen rather than sort of all looking at each other a bit first half, sort of expecting someone to try and do something, and it wasn't quite clicking. We never created enough in the last third, first half, but fair play to them. Listen, it's could have easily got away from us, that one. It didn't. They got a point, and so we move on.
That's it. When we say about games that you feel like they are getting away from you because of that lack of the final third, that final pass, the final bit of incisiveness there, you do fear the fact that this could be one of those that gets away from Villa. So to rescue that point towards the end, it's almost similar to Brighton actually from a few weeks ago. However, we came out on the right side of that with 3 points. If it wasn't for that wonder goal then, that wonder free kick from Sack, we may well be talking about that here quite easily.
Yeah, and I think probably felt like one of those days where I think there was a chance late on in the first half here where you're thinking, how have we not scored?
In the space of 5 seconds.
There was a couple in the second half as well, and you're thinking, is it going to be one of those days? So I think, like Andy said, to keep fighting and dig out a result is really important. But it probably feels a little bit down because of the recent results that we've had here as well.
I think that's it. When you put it into the wider context, that's why you could hear the crowd. I mean, they were up for it. Goodness me, when Villa were on the attack and powering forwards, crowd fully up for that. But then the frustrations you could hear as well, just boiling over. And it probably is that fact, isn't it? Rather than the game just itself, it's the wider context, the FA Cup there last week. And then when you think about Everton and Brentford, it's just that slight fear factor that we all have a little bit of anxiety at the minute. But it is putting into that wider context how well Villa are doing. Despite facing adversity at the minute with the lack of a midfield, well, Boubacar Kamara and Yuri Tielemans and John McGinn all being out, do you think this is just a transitional phase of trying to survive and get through as best as possible? Yeah,
I think those 3 players you mentioned are a huge miss. I think if Unai's picking his best team, those 3 players play every single time. So, yeah, I think there is a slight transition period. Certainly with Dougie, I know he's been here before, but he's not played an awful lot of football recently, so there's that to take into account. But yeah, when a team like Leeds come here and they do get a lead as well and have something to hold on to, it makes the game even more difficult. Yeah,
we knew that they were going to be difficult here today. We did get that, certainly so in the first half. I mean, we all 3 sat and watched it together, didn't we?
Yes.
It was a very frustrating first half.
It was tough. They worked hard. Calvert-Lewin had a half chance when he went through one-on-one with Emmy, and Emmy made a good save. They had their moments. Probably they shaded it in terms of the better situations and attempts, if you like, in the first half. Look, you have periods like this, Kate. At the moment, every game is a little bit of a fight, a little bit of a struggle.
Yeah.
A couple of months ago, things were happening here. One touch, bump, and they're going through teams, round teams, over teams. Everything's going in the back of the net and everything's working perfectly. Yeah. Now we've just hit a little bit of an issue. Injuries have certainly not helped, and just 1 or 2 of the results have just come along to make it a little bit more difficult. Confidence goes down just a touch.
Yeah.
Players start taking an extra touch on the ball. Teams can then get back and recover, and you're faced with 10 again all of a sudden, as opposed to a couple of months ago go through that, and all of a sudden you're 4 on 4.
Yeah.
You know, it's not quite been that way for us because confidence has just gone a little bit. But I'm, again, full marks to the boys. Could easily have lost that one.
Yeah, good.
You know, and you'd be really, really feeling really sick at the moment. Whereas they kept going, and they, in the end, it's a battling point. It's another point. And for those teams chasing, they've got to keep winning.
It's that C word, isn't it? Character once again, even to secure a point. That's exactly it, because beforehand we could have crumbled underneath that, and it was a wonder strike from Sack that managed to gain them their goal, but it was that extra character. You knew that the game was only going to go one way. If there was another goal, then on. You knew it was only going to go Villa's way, because facing the Holt end, it was all just being lumped in, and they were getting closer and closer every time. So it felt like, I wouldn't say an inevitability for Tammy Abraham's goal, but it certainly felt if the game was going to go in one direction, it was going to go our way, because Villa had stuck to the task.
Yeah, there was a little more desperation to our play, of course, when you're 1 down with 15 minutes to go. You start getting it forward that bit quicker, and you take a little bit more of a risk. We've made changes, and you've got more attack-minded players on. Get it in the box, make something happen. And the lads did that. Yeah. They absolutely did that. It's just getting into that box seat at the moment at the start of a match, I think, against teams that we should beat. Yeah. We should. We're better than Leeds. Everything suggests we're better than them. But at the moment, we can't get ourselves right in that driving seat to really reinforce the way that we play here and boss it. Yeah. Where the game sort of, we seem to be having good spells. Against Newcastle, we were a better team, get one up, man sent off, and all of a sudden it's kind of just going like that. And you have these periods and you have these times, and you've just got to take it on the chin and move on, because there'll be other games coming at us again pretty thick and fast. In terms of individual performances, there were plenty of them, some really bright ones for Villa. Matty Cash coming back into the starting 11, he looked fantastic throughout. Jadon Sancho, when he came on, we were talking about him in the pre-match show, how much he is building and growing at Aston Villa. And we both said, didn't we, when the substitution was made, he came on, he was so lively and making things happen. Yeah, exactly. We spoke about him before the game, and he came on the pitch and had a real effect on the game and the outcome in the end. I think himself and Barkley, when they came on, I think they just played a little bit quicker. You know, I think I just mentioned to you, I think it helped with Sancho being a right footer on the right wing, as daft as that sounds, with Leon getting the ball. He was always coming back inside into bodies when they've got a back 5 and 4 in front. It was a difficult afternoon for him, but I think with Jadon having the ball and being able to go outside, it gives him that space to create, which I think he showed today. Yeah. In terms of bright moments and bright players, I mean, you were nodding away there for Jadon Sancho. Morgan Rogers, of course, had another fantastic game. I mean, he was everywhere. He played in how many different positions today, being asked how many times to rotate. He didn't actually play where we thought he was going to play, did he? He played, talking all about him on the left, and then he played more as a 10 in behind Ollie. Yeah. Doesn't always get the room, I think, that he benefits from when he plays that bit wider. When he plays off the left, he's able to, pick that ball up. He's a bit of an out ball for us. He's not shackled quite so easily in a slightly wider position. I think we can find him easier. Yeah. Sometimes in that 10 position, he's easily, players can bump into him, players can grab him, players can get closer to challenge him. Whereas when he's off one side, it's very difficult to stop. But look, the manager likes that combination of him and Ollie. He likes Buendia off the left a little bit. They've got the licence to interchange and mix it up a little bit. And we saw that towards the end, definitely. Yeah, I wanted to ask you about when Tammy Abraham came on, because we assumed, it must just be for Ollie, but him and Ollie playing together, something that plenty of people have been asking to see for quite a long time now. I know we didn't get a massive sample size to see them playing together, but what did you make of it? Do you think that there's a potential future there of those two lining up together? I think they're both very good players that could do that, whether the manager does go with two up top more often than not. But it's a nice thing to be able to do when you're chasing a game, certainly like today, to bring on an extra centre forward, and then that brought Morgan out towards the left, and he had a bigger impact on the game as well. So it's the reason why Tammy's brought to the football club.
he can come off the bench and score goals, and he can also scout. And today they've shown that they can play together too.
Definitely, Kate, for 20 minutes you can do that. As
when you're chasing
James
a game,
says.
though, is that kind of the context we're putting it into?
Yeah, really,
Yeah.
we are. I don't see him going that way too often to start with.
Yeah.
If you play 3 at the back, you can often play 2 up front, and that can work. But the way that Unai sets the team up, I think it's going to be either or, really.
Yeah.
From the start, it's going to be either Tammy or Ollie. But as Chesney said, 2 very good players, 2 experienced boys you've got there leading the line, and Tammy has shown already a couple of important goals lately, which is good for him and good for his confidence.
Yeah, he was really getting the crowd up as well, wasn't he? So you know what a fan favourite he is, and good to see that as well. Emi Martinez with some really good saves throughout. He had a really good game. I know the goal, but that was an absolute wonder strike, as we said.
It was.
Putting it into the wider context, though, so Aston Villa still sat in third, 27 games played. Of course, Man City on 26 still, 2 points ahead. So we're up to 51 points, 6 points clear of Chelsea. Keeping an eye on their game earlier on against Burnley, and with a man sent off as well, Fofana, wasn't it? So
yes.
Sent off, for Chelsea. So at least in terms of looking behind, and Stan will absolutely berate me for this, because last week he was saying you should be looking up, stop looking behind. But the paranoia I have over United and Chelsea right there, I mean, it goes to show that we're not losing ground, at least on Chelsea. Of course, United still to come on Monday night. They've got Everton, haven't they? So yeah, that's a positive in that sense. Is that more of a relief, though, when you see other results like that?
I think so. I think the boys going back into the change room after the game and checking the results, it will be a relief that Chelsea have dropped points. I think our next game against Wolves will be an important one. Hopefully picking up a positive result to then bring Chelsea here. So look, there's some big teams in that pack behind Aston Villa, and we're going to have more positive results than not coming towards the end of the season, because certainly the way United are performing at the moment, and Chelsea up until today, with the new managers coming in, they've been what's the word I'm looking for?
I don't know, but I'm excited to know.
I don't know. It's slipping, man.
I was going to guess for you.
But we when you think of Arsenal, how they're going lately.
Yeah.
They've been so good. All of a sudden, they've struggled lately. Yeah. Liverpool have had up and down moments pretty much all season.
Man City as well,
really. Man City have had their moments when they've had games at home that they've slipped through their fingers. Every team this season is having that little moment, that spell, where it's just not quite clicking. There's not a lot wrong. It's just not quite clicking as everyone in here would like. And that's the difference between winning or losing at the top level. If you're just off it 10%, then you can sometimes just come up a little bit short, and it's just happening that way for us at the moment. No reason why, plenty of games left, no reason why they can't get back in their stride with a couple of back-to-back wins. That's what they need now, a couple of back-to-back victories to sort of really just cement their position where they are and just build that confidence back up.
It's the confidence thing, and we said beforehand, this is just a potential sticky period. Villa just need to ride through it, basically, until some of our injured players come back, until the players who have come in have gelled, until that confidence is back. So just trying to pick up points where possible, because at the moment, Villa have the advantage, remember. It's the rest of the teams that have to make up the deficit in behind there to be trying to challenge for those Champions League places. So Villa's still in a very good position, just in terms of a maintenance position as much as anything else, would you say, Chesney?
Yeah, I think we're just going to have to do exactly what we've done for the last 20 minutes here over the next couple of weeks, and just keep plugging away and try and pick up results till we get into the international break and do get some of those players back who are injured. And you're at 2-3 more weeks down the line with the lads who've come in to be able to work with the players as well. It
is a mental Premier League season, though,
isn't it?
Nothing is predictable.
No, it's
such a compressed league.
At the bottom end of the table, it's going to be 3 from sort of 7 or 8 down there at the top, and the top 6, or top 5, sorry, as Chesney said earlier, is going to be. There's lots of permutations that can happen there. Villa are right in the thick of where they would like to be. They're in a position that Chelsea would love to be in, that United, that Liverpool, that all these other chasing teams would like to be in. And now it's over to them to see whether they can pick up their points. And if they do, good luck to them. Our lads have got to respond and just keep going, keep believing. I thought the crowd were great late on.
Yeah,
and once they got the sense that something might start to happen, They really got behind the team, as you say, going towards the Holt end and sort of picked it up, and that helps. That helps tremendously. Fans, I'm sure they do realise, but you can't underestimate the importance of when the crowd really are right behind you and you feel it. It's massive. So they got behind the team, and we just about got them over the line.
Yeah, that's it. Picked up the point here. On to Wolves, as you say, and then Chelsea after a big couple of games coming up, though.
Big couple of games.
And obviously you were at Molineux there the other day, so you take nothing for granted.
I was at Wolves the other night, and at 2-0, no one really gave them a prayer, but to their credit, they kept going, and in the end, they kept battling away, and Arsenal got a bit edgy and a bit nervy, and they managed to sneak a point. So take nothing for granted, and I think that will be the message, I'm sure, in the dressing room. Listen, we take nothing, but we just keep going, and we keep going, and keep our fingers crossed that with 3 or 4 games left, we've got enough in the bag.
And we've shown that fight in the last 20 minutes. So you'd rather a game finished off that way going into the next game, surely, wouldn't you? Finishing with momentum like that rather than finishing after absolutely holding on for your life in the last 20 minutes in terms of momentum and form. I know the game is on Friday, so we have got less than a week to go. But what will be worked on between now and Friday?
What day are we on today? Saturday?
I know, it feels weird being here on a Saturday, to be honest.
Yeah, imagine a couple of days of recovery and then working to going into Wolves, and just maybe a little bit more speed in the play. I think the way that we play has been worked for us for a long time now, and when you're able to find the spare man and play quickly, it looks really good. But today, when it's maybe an extra little touch or an extra pass and you can't find a spare man, it can prove a frustrating afternoon. So I'm not Unai Emery, and he's a very, very good manager, so I'm sure he will be well aware of what they need to be working on.
Yeah, certainly so. Well, lads, I think we've given a very honest assessment there, like say realistic, honest assessment there. Plenty of positives still to be taken from this. Loads of players who had really good games as well. So thank you so much to the pair of you two for coming back. Really enjoyed this one. And of course, we've got plenty more to look forward to, plenty more football to play for the rest of the season as well. So looking forward to that one. Thank you so much for tuning in. A point picked up for Aston Villa in this 1-1 draw against Leeds. On to Molineux on Friday.